It may be difficult for some of us to imagine a time without widespread recorded sound and moving images. Nevertheless, live stage drama was once the most popular form of mass entertainment. Before Spielberg, before Motown, Nashville, and rock and roll, before Cecil B. DeMille, there was David Belasco.
How did Puccini net Madame Butterfly? Well, he was always on the lookout for new opera ideas. There are stories that he got some of them from his rivals, snatching Bohème from Leoncavallo, which is why there are two Bohèmes, and constantly interested in what Massenet was pursuing among the bestsellers of the time. But how to top his own Bohème and Tosca? Well, Puccini was in London for the premiere of Tosca and happened to attend the opening night of a sensational play presented by David Belasco, the Steven Spielberg of his time. The play was, of course, Madame Butterfly. But how did Puccini, who spoke no English, have any idea of what it was about? The star, the gorgeous Blanche Bates, might be one reason. And the play was not only written, but more importantly, directed by David Belasco. He was a master of stage magic, and many of his techniques would later show up in the first generation of silent movies. As in those movies, words were unimportant if the images were powerful enough. They were in Madame Butterfly. So what Puccini saw was almost a powerful pantomime. Belasco is one of the most interesting figures of the American theater. He had lived a strange and wild life. I guess that's why he wore a priest's collar and favored black clothes, so they called him the Bishop of Broadway. He was born in the Wild West, where his parents had arrived from London during the gold rush. He really did have first-hand experience of cowboys, gold miners, and their violent camps, and he had his own scrapes with various sheriffs who made up the law as they went along. This part of his life would lead to another Puccini opera, The Girl of the Golden West. Anyway, for Madame Butterfly, Belasco had read the story by John Luther Long, but changed it a little bit for the stage. The original began after Pinkerton's absence. Belasco imagined the wedding between Pinkerton and Butterfly because he was shrewd. He knew what would work for the commercial audiences of that time. The Japanese setting promised wonderful exotic costumes and stage mannerisms, some real, some not. The story of the little Japanese girl, abandoned with her child, committing suicide, eliminated the need for an elaborate plot or dialogue. Belasco wanted strong, dramatic stage characters. His stagecraft would do the rest. And in a way, Puccini knew that it would finally be his music that would turn the stage characters in Madame Butterfly into flesh and blood creatures that, after 100 years, can still bring us to tears.